I respectfully acknowledge and pay respect to the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, on whose land we gather to live, learn, dream and heal. To pay respect to elders past, present and future for their cultural knowledge and guidance. Remember to close your eyes in silence to acknowledge always was, always will be Gadigal land.
My name's Angeline Penrith. I'm a Wiradjuri Yuin woman and a Redfern community member. Community planted the seeds of the Eora journey to bring Aboriginal culture back to the city, recognising and honouring the traditional custodians and the community who live here today. Sydney has many public artworks that celebrate and recognise our nation's colonial history and people. However, Sydney has very few works of significance that make visible and acknowledges the Eora custodians of this land. When I see Aboriginal art in the streets, it makes me proud and it lets me know that we are still here, and it lets the wider community know that we are still here. We will continue to be strong, powerful, determined and resourceful, like our Gadigal women who fish from the Nowies, from this same harbour, which will now be home to Barra.
Barra pays respects to all Aboriginal women, especially elders. They are the backbone and foundation of our social and cultural lives.
Me and a group of young girls and older ones used to go down to the Opera House and fish. And one time we went down there and it was all fenced off and they were building the Opera House. So what we used to do, we used to jump the fence.
This is one of the world's most beautiful harbours and home to one of its most extensive art galleries. The countless engravings on the foreshore of the Sydney Harbour testify to the world's oldest continuous cultural tradition.
I've been here in Redfern on Gadigal country since I was about 11. We just all went as kids down to the Lachlan River and just swam in the river and shared yarns and shared stories and all grew up as brothers and sisters.
And so it was all that connectiveness that we had, was the kinship connection was really, really strong.
Judy Watson's monument for the Eora, Barra, takes its place in this cultural landscape to symbolically and visually connect the timeless traditions of the Gadigal people with the contemporary landmarks of our Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge.
This work, Barra, for the Eora Monument, will be part of that ochre bloodline that wraps around the harbour and connects like a cultural ribbon through this area. I think it's really important that Sydney Moraine is seen as the gateway to Aboriginal culture. It's where a lot of people come, and it's so important to open up discussions of the fact that this is, was and always will be Aboriginal land. Sydney, is the most beautiful place in terms of the waterways, but there's really strong connections to history, and I want to go beyond the artifice that might sit on the surface and really delve deep into the subconscious of country, what was here and what is still here, so that people who are visitors to this place or living here understand those deep histories within this area. These sentinel forms of the Barra, the crescent forms, are winking across at the Opera House, making those connections, so that when you are gathering in this space, you will feel those connections too. Barra is about having tangible evidence that's drawing up those histories from the ground, bringing it up to the viewer, which is one of the shell hook forms, and it becomes like the crescent of the moon. It's the crescent form you see in the shells of the Opera House. It's the crescent of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. So it's a reflected form, which is from this place. It is one of the earliest tools, such a very simple, beautiful form, elliptical form, and it's something that I would like to see reflected in the consciousness of everybody who comes here.
I love living here. I don't know, I can't explain it. The mural behind is a Gadigal woman fishing, and the fish, and the students put their hands on there. You know, they were respecting the Gadigal women and the fisherwomen around here.
We would go out there doing our group fishing, and of course the elders are passing on the knowledge about how we ought to make the actual fishing equipment.
Take our own flour and they make our own bread on the river, make the campfire waiting to catch the fish so we can cook the fish on the open fire. With Barra, it's a big opening. It's eye-opening for all the mob down here to get out there and to gather round again. And it's like coming like a meeting place from the bush to the city.
Here on Sydney Harbour, the gateway to Australia, Barra by Judy Watson honours all Eora people. This work creates a significant gathering place to celebrate the living traditions and heritage of the First Nations peoples of Australia.